Hello everybody and welcome back to the introductory videos to using the slides template in OBS. Alright, we're just gonna jump right into it. So the way OBS works is you have scenes as a form of containers for sources. A scene is basically what it sounds like. It's a screen with all kinds of things on it. Those things are sources. And some of those sources aren't actually visual. Some of those sources are audio input and shit like that. They're still a part of the scene though. So the scene encompasses the audio and the video. Then you can transition from one scene to another scene so that your video and audio input and output changes. To put this all into a bit more of a practical perspective, I'm just going to make a new scene. Scene 2. And we're just going to go over the basic workflow that you would use to set up this document for you, set up OBS for use with these slide templates. First thing you would have to do is create a new scene. It's a good idea to rename that scene appropriately by right-clicking it. You can add a scene by selecting scene collections or just clicking the little plus button in the scenes sub-window tab, whatever, right there. I'm going to rename this scene to slide 00 title. And I'm going to add a source. So this is the source subtab, and here's the mixer. There's nothing in the mixer because there's no fucking sources that can be mixed. So we're going to add a source. The little plus button on sources will do that right here. It gives you a little drop-down menu to select sources from. We're going to select image. We're going to create new. We're going to give that thing a name. We're going to give it the name IMG, because then we'll know it's an image. Slide 00 title. It's not strictly required, but it's always a very, very good idea. And we'll browse our computer for images. I am going to go to the Nextcloud to interdisciplinary stuff. Projects, I don't know, man, principles video, and I'll take one of these slides I used for the blind justice video. On the other hand, that's not the best of ideas because I'll use that one to demonstrate. There we go. Selected the image and select OK. You'll see that there is a striped area right here on the side. That means that the image is larger than the actual canvas. If you see, if I move it around, then you see the white space and room for notes and shit that I left in the template, which if you just have it aligned properly to the edges of the canvas right here, then that is the only thing that will be cut off, and it'll be cut off real nicely. It's by design, is what I'm saying. So now you have a scene with this nice little background image, but it's not showing in your program because you haven't transitioned to that scene yet, and it doesn't really do much because it's just an image. So for shits and giggles, let's us add a there's no room here for a video source, so I'll go over to audio sources to start with. Now there's three ways to add audio to the scene. There's audio input capture, which is an audio input device like my microphone right here. You can capture audio outputs as like my speakers or my headphones or my virtual sound cables or whatever. And you can use a media source, an MP3 file or whatever. At this point, I'll add an audio input device, ergo my microphone. Audio input device, mic. Okay, which device is my mic? That's a microphone on 4 USB audio device. As you can see, there's also a microphone on my webcam, which I'm using, And I have the default's always default, and 2 virtual audio cables for inputs. Oh no, I should select the default because I'm an idiot. Microphone. There we go. You'll notice that the mixer is still empty. That's because the mixer is linked to the program output, not the scene you have selected in preview. So if we want to see the microphone in the mixer, we would have to transition to that scene. I'm going to use the shortcuts that I already set up in the previous video. So here, now you can see mic, you can see mic input. Very useful thing, which I always do. If you click this little cog icon here, you can select filters. And you can add fucking filters to this thing, which is great. Because it has a noise suppression filter, which with my shitty microphone is really necessary. So the standard setting appears to be good enough. That's what I use anyway. If it's not good enough, be sure to let me know. So that's an important thing to add there. Did I actually add it or did I not add it because I'm an idiot? No, that's adding properties, filters, noise suppression. Yes. Ah, very nice. So, if I were to click the start recording button now, I could waffle on and that would get recorded in MKV format to the recording path that I set in the previous video. All fine and dandy. However, that's not all that interesting just yet. Let's make a new scene. So, a new scene, let's call this slide 01. All right. We're gonna add another background image to this slide, img slide 01. And for that slide, I am not gonna take one of these from the principles video. I'm gonna go to the templates folder, where I still incidentally have should have some crap stored. No. Let me just check that real quick. Projects miscellaneous. Ah, there we go. It's actually here in Rembo's stuff. Why not make it all self-referential? I'll use the setup I'm using for this very video. I'm running 2 copies of OBS right now. If my computer can pull that, yours can. As you can see, my CPU usage on one, that's actually recording, is something like 18%. The other is, and that's a crappy, well, it's an i3, so you don't have the excuse of saying my computer's a potato. So now we have this nice little black background. You'll see that there's 2 black holes in the background, which are translucent areas set up in GIMP, which is very nice, of course. And now we'll make this more interesting and we'll add a video source. Now, the potential video sources, as shown on the screen at least twice now, is video capture device, window capture, display capture, game capture, but you know, we're being professional about all of this, and media source. Pretty self-evident what these are. Video capture devices, for instance, my webcam. Can't actually use my webcam because, you know, I'm actually already using it. Can't capture the stream twice, I think. Let's give the old call a try, shall we? Video capture device. I'm gonna add cam. All right. Camera. Okay. Now you'll note that this ain't working. That ain't working because I'm already using it. That's too bad. Can't show you the camera, but it works exactly the same as any other. One useful thing I can show you here, if I just add video capture device, is you can configure video settings off of your webcam directly here. can see the input, the effect it's having right now. This was set to 0. Oh, god damn it. Oh, what I do to myself. Close enough. Oh, I have a cancel button. I'm an idiot. Alright, so that was video capture device, which does not work properly because I'm already using my only video capture device. And I am not going to buy a second webcam for purposes of this video. Let's select a display capture then. Display capture 2, because I'm already using one. Funky shit, as you can see if I select my display 1. However, I can also select my display 2, which is the one I'm using to record right now. I'll just select that display to make it nice and confusing for me. So, this input capture is placed onto my preview scene, the one that I've selected for editing. If you want, you can always exit studio mode, transition to the scene if you need a bigger view. So we would want to resize this thing and right click it, select order, and move it down. So it's down below our background picture. Then we can resize it like so. This screen's an older screen, so it's not 1909, not even it's not 1909, not 1910. It's I forget what it was. Who gives a crap? It's just a demonstration anyway. So that's my display capture. Very nice. Then we're gonna add another video source, a media source of some sort, I guess. Then we can show you how that works. What shall we use? I have an idea. Templates and documents, OBS, and the first setup video. We'll set it to loop just for this case. These settings here are all pretty self-explanatory. The speed setting is pretty cool. And there we go. I added that video as a media source. Oh shit, I moved my background. Whoops. I keep moving my background. Let's transition to the scene. Here we go. It's really confusing because it fits right into the background. Here we can mute the audio off of our media source, so and adjust the audio, add noise filters and all that shit. So here we'll move this over the small little window here, order, move it down. There we go. So we've added discussed video capture device, display capture, and media capture. Window capture is the same as display capture, only it allows you to capture the output of a specific window. I didn't use that in this case because there's always a chance that I have to show you something that's not in the exact OBS window but somewhere else on my display. Hence my use of that. We've gone over the audio sources as well. We have the media source as an audio source as well here. Now we're going to discuss copies and references. As you can see, we have the microphone here as an input source. What we can do is we can copy that, move to the other slide, and then we can paste it as a reference. Sometimes you also have the option duplicate, but it's usually better to pick a reference because then it remains the same audio source. For instance, if you were to capture this, if I make a duplicate, if I make a new scene, slide 02, I add an image, img slide 02. Rambo's crib. GIMP quotes. Okay. As you can see, that's another one. And I can go to this. I can copy this media source, go to slide 2, and then paste it as a reference. And then the video will not restart. If I were to copy that as a duplicate or add a new media source with that same media file, then I would run into those issues. Then I can copy the display capture, paste the display capture, copy the microphone, and paste the microphone. All right, and that is the scene setup that you would need for creating a little video with 3 different scenes even. And the way you would actually use it is, first of all, you select your first slide, so it shows up in preview. You click the transition button, so you're absolutely sure that it is that's output on the program. Then you click start recording. You make sure everything is properly set. You click start recording, which I'm not going to do because that will mess up my computer, because that will mess with my computer a bit too much. And then whenever you want to transition, just make sure you have the correct next scene selected and press your transition button, one of your quick transitions button, or even better, your fucking hotkey. And when you press your hotkey, it will transition as you have set it. Wait until everything happened that you want to happen. For instance, now I could stop talking or mute myself on the microphone here and start the audio on that thing. And I could select slide 2, transition to it. The audio would just keep playing. It wouldn't restart. Now there'd be 2 of us talking over each other, which would be an absolute goddamn nightmare. And that's basically it. That's how you would use this thing in OBS. Thank you very much for paying attention, and see you around. Shit, almost pressed the wrong button there. This is very, very confusing.